I'd like to tell you a personal story that illustrates what I call an I Ching news alert. The I Ching, or Book of Changes, is a 3,000-year-old oracle from China that psychologist Carl Jung popularized as a modern tool for amplifying unconscious intuitive wisdom. Intuition is that still small voice within us that can be overshadowed by noisy modern life. The I Ching mirrors and amplifies our inner awareness so we can hear our intuitive guidance. I Ching readings help you adapt your actions to the nature of the time. Knowing when to wait and when to proceed are crucial determinants of success. Timing is everything, and the Book of Changes is a master timekeeper and guide. It's commonly known that it's best to plant most seeds in spring and harvest in fall, but when is the optimal time to plant the seeds of a marriage, or to request a pay raise, or to start a new business? For guidance in daily matters, I observe the facts, listen to intuition, and ask the I Ching. So I get daily guidance in response to my questions. What happens if an important event is upcoming that I don't know to ask about? How might I get a warning? The answer is, in my experience, there is an override. If you rely upon the I Ching for guidance, as my partner Debbie Hart and I do, you'll bump into what I call the news alert. The I Ching is a book that can only speak when spoken to, that is, only when you ask something and cast the coins. Sometimes, in order to prepare you for an approaching event, your question may have to be overridden by some timely warning or advice. If I happen to ask a trivial question while major issues are lurking ahead, this override means I will get the answer that I need to know, not just what I happen to ask about. Every so often, I would get a particular kind of misfit or clunker answer that complicated understandings. These override answers are like a news alert that interrupts a scheduled radio or television broadcast with something both timely and important. Our solution to this issue has been to begin with a Zen, or what do I need to know right now type question, before we ask questions of our own. This gets us to begin consulting sessions by being receptive to learning from the unconscious before we pose the questions of our conscious interest. This increases our direct feedback from the unconscious, and we know the answers to any questions we are asking the I Ching are actually answering that question. I'll tell you the I Ching News Alert reading that I won't ever forget. Just before bedtime on September 10th, 2001, I asked a minor question about a project I was happily working on, and I received a very negative, ill-fitting news alert answer that turned out to be about some other issue altogether. I had no idea what to expect on this final night before the New York terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001, where thousands of innocents soon would die, and which I would soon witness in real time on live television. The I Ching reading was hexagram 36, Darkening of the Light. This includes the image the sun has sunk under the earth and is therefore darkened. The name itself means wounding of the bright, and the Wilhelm translation I was relying on at the time says, quote, "A man of dark nature is in a position of authority and brings harm to wise and able men," end quote. These warnings disturbed me with their prediction of great harm coming from a powerful dark man that could block out the sun and harm the innocents. They only made sense the next morning. I was, and I am still, grateful that the I Ching prepared me for this enormous psychic jolt. I felt like I slept on alert that night, and in the morning I spontaneously jumped out of bed and turned on the TV, something I very rarely did, just in time to witness the second plane hit the Twin Towers. "Oh my God," I exclaimed. So this is what the I Ching was preparing me for. There was indeed unbelievably great harm, beyond any prior attack of this sort. There was a specific, powerful, dark man behind all that smoke from the Twin Towers that did literally block out the sun. The I Ching reading had been correct on every count. I'm grateful that the I Ching does occasionally override routine questions to provide timely warnings. The solution to this dilemma for Debbie and me has been to adopt the process of asking a Zen question, one with no content specified, before we ask any personal questions of our own. This alleviates the need for the news alert interruptions by letting the I Ching speak first. If the ego is not the pinnacle of the total psyche, which it surely is not, it makes sense to defer, to listen first and speak second. Beginning with a Zen question opens a door to valuable feedback that we would not know to ask about. Of course, without a specific question to focus upon, you have to discover what the comments refer to, which is challenging, but worth the effort. All in all, I must say that if I were to ask the I Ching tomorrow about wearing my new green shirt, when there's an avoidable car crash awaiting me in a few hours, I'm glad that I would be alerted to the imminent danger and be mentally prepared, instead of getting the fashion advice I asked for. Now, I admit I may desperately need some fashion advice, but only if I manage to avoid that avoidable car crash. I chose that particular example since another news alert style I Ching reading once warned me of and prevented my certain death in a car crash. I tell the detailed story of the day the I Ching saved my life in our video class, Discover the I Ching Part 1. We'll put a maximum discount coupon down below if you want to check the class out.
Ron and I have made a richly illustrated video class to introduce you to the I Ching. We hope it can empower you to use and test the I Ching for yourself so that you can draw your own conclusions.
The I Ching News Alert may occasionally confuse a reading or two, but they come to forewarn you and to prepare you. For me, this topic is like a testimonial, since it was one of these I Ching news alerts that literally saved my life.